Last year, I released a video on a new defense I had created, a zone where the on-ball defender plays behind the ball. Since then, hundreds of coaches have reached out to me at all levels, and I've been refining it ever since. Now, we've got even more data and methods to utilize when implementing a defense that can eliminate ball screens and off-the-dribble threes. The diagram would make it look like it's a 1-3-1 zone defense, but we're playing out of Dean Smith's point zone, which means there are two pairs, X1 and X4 are buddies, and X2 and X3 are buddies, and they're always trying to form an X between them with the X5 in the center of the wheel. You could play chase mode in almost any kind of defense. For instance, here's a normal 2-3 zone against the ball on the right wing. If the X2 gets behind the ball, do any of the other defenders care? Their job is the same regardless. But I like that the point zone keeps the center as the all-time goalie, and it covers the corners better than any other zone I've encountered. This is Queens College in New York, and they ran it the most last season. Here's the X1 getting behind the ball, and there's already some confusion in the offense. Notice how X1 is facing the basket so we can see any cutters. The closeout is inviting the drive, but the ball handler sees the X5 in his path, and they end up throwing it away. We want to pick up at half court to chase, and you can see with X5 in his path and X4 in front of the rim, it stops the drive cold. The player on the wing is invited to drive, but again sees X5 in his path as X1 moves to cover the pass to the high post. When the ball does reverse back to the left wing, you can see the X being formed between X1 to X4 and X2 and X3. We invite the drive, and it's the perfect shot, a contested pull-up mid-range. We don't care at all if it goes in. Here's a great example of being able to eliminate ball screens as the center is trying, but X3 is behind the ball. There is no angle to set the pick, so the defender stays glued and continues to invite the drive. Now, Queens College didn't play all the way behind as much as I'd have liked, but you can still see how the offense stalls out and is forced into another perfect shot for the defense. Here's another luring of the drive inside the three-point line towards the X5. We don't play behind in the corners since the sideline and baseline are extra defenders for us. However, if we can't get into a chase on a drive from the corner, great, as they execute a perfect switch and then get a nice steal. More confusion as the point guard doesn't understand why his man is playing him on his side like this. The X5 is containing, and the X4, who gets to see everyone in front of him, steps in for the steal. By taking out the ego of not getting beat by your man, you can unleash a lot more pressure on the ball since the defender wants to get behind the dribbler. Contested floaters are the goal. This is from a team in England who destroyed opponents when selectively turning on the chase, and there are loads of opportunities for back taps. What the offense ends up running is random as they get sped up faster than they want to be. You can see the ball screener gets confused because X2 is basically behind the ball handler, and while we don't want double teams on the wing, this works. Again, the ball screen is completely ineffective, and you've got players trying to drive and create who shouldn't be due to getting behind them. Here's a high school team that was chasing out of a 2-3 alignment, and you can see how the X5 being on the line of deployment allows the on-ball defender to get behind the ball with little consequence. This in turn allows the defenders to be much more aggressive with their ball pressure, and when they finally speed them up with a drive, kick, skip, and then drive, the defense gets the steal because the game had gotten too fast for the offense. We can eliminate the fake fundamental choppy step closeout by unleashing the defender's athletic ability. We want to sprint to each position and hockey stop to get behind. Closing distances quicker, knowing that the goal is to get them to put the ball on the floor. Here's a good example as the X1 sprints and hockey stops behind. There's the drive, and the only issue is that the X3 never should have helped on the drive. The X5 is right there, and he'd have been even closer to contesting this corner three. Playing behind the ball isn't even a radical concept, as we see it a lot in the NBA. Matisse Thybulle is great at it, and him and Embiid were a great pair to lure the ball into the mid-range for inefficient shots. Of course, it does help that he's a very good athlete, but just being comfortable at staying connected and contesting from behind is a valuable asset for any type of player, and I suspect the more experience they have with it, the better they'll get at making plays. If you're a coach and interested in running the chase defense, I can hop on a Zoom with you and break it all down. How to install it from day one with breakout drills, and then how to deal with specific types of offenses and attacks. And in certain instances, I might be able to come to your gym and help install it in person. So reach out and let me know, since you're going to want to get in early on what I think will catch fire sooner than later, giving you a huge advantage over your opponent.